Frustrating day again. Bias was perfect. We had on NQ, we still have these relative equal lows, three of them on the higher time frame that I was just waiting to get taken. We had this 1 hour bearish fair value gap that we came into. We had an SMT with these data highs from Wednesday. ES was somewhere down here. And we stalled. And when I first looked at the charts, I was maybe bullish because we had this imbalance. But when I started looking at the day, 5, 6, 7, 8, we started to have this big imbalance getting ran through here. And we started creating a 1 hour fair value gap. So my bias going into the morning, this is where we were at. It was loose, but more bearish than anything. So I was bearish going into the day, and we were opening 9:30, right off open, when 10 o'clock hit. So right at 10, right here, we'd open the 1 hour fair value gap to the downside. I was wanting to see price hold here and make this high, the fair value gap, get tapped. And it was looking good. It was looking good. I was expecting this to sweep, but the last minute we make a high here, taking out this, which means this high now becomes the fair value gap. If you don't understand fractal price, that'll be kind of hard to understand, but this 1 hour gets formed with this candle here. Also, red folder news came out at 10, so right after this candle finishes, we have news that comes out. I was anticipating these equal highs get swept because we do create an SMT at the same time. ES didn't take this high. We do finally sweep these equal highs. We have an SMT, and I was expecting that to be a point reversal. We're in a 15-minute fair value gap right here. This is a 15-minute imbalance that we sweep the high. That's what the red line is. So when you go back, I was anticipating it to reverse here and target this low and continue lower to these equal lows, which is, or not that one. These, just anything lower, here, here, here. A lot of targets to the downside. Very, very bearish going into the day. With a loose bias, it could have held some bullish structure and gone up. I didn't take the soup here because, again, news came out on the next candle, which you'll see right here, the next candle. Boom. Holds a fair value gap, but not really. This is not very clean, but this is technically an inverse here in the next minute. This would have been the only real inverse play you could take, but it's not clean because it's 1 minute after news. We close here. You could have jumped in shorts, stop above the high, and caught this trade. I don't like that trade. I don't think I did anything wrong by not taking it, but I was hoping that we could come back up and get into the 1 hour fair value gap, but we never do, and we sell off. At this moment here, I was like, okay, now we have 2 more points of interest. We can come onto this 5-minute fair value gap. So this is a 5-minute bearish. So I was like, okay, we can come in here, take a 5-minute, take out these equal highs in an imbalance, or we can come into here and then go short because I was still very bearish. I was waiting, and actually my first trade was kind of bad. I took a long on this fair value gap breaking. So I longed right here and was going to go break even here. I really wanted price to go up into that fair value gap. We had this 1 minute, and we make an equal, almost an equal high here. I go to break even. I get stopped out in that first trade. Looking back, this is not a very good trade because this is all I'm guaranteed. So it's just really stupid. Not hindsight. It's just a really bad trade. I'm just forcing price. I just trying to make some money, hoping it'll maybe go here and just rip without me. And that's just a bad trade. I want to remove those types of trades from my trading. But we get away with it, which is not good. And I was really expecting to see this now, maybe this 1 minute hold to get up here. And then I would really be looking for some type of short because I was expecting these equal highs to get taken inside a fair value gap. When I'm bearish on the day, we've already tapped this. So I was like, okay, if we come up here, we could be bearish. Or if we come up here, we're bearish. I was waiting for that. And the way the market played out, we just never got the equal highs. I just didn't I just couldn't understand. It just seemed like it was perfect. And then we dump down. And I'm still looking for this to be a point of interest, but we just continue lower and continue lower and continue lower. We then put in a low here. My next trades were horrible. I actually took a trade on this inverse, lost, and then I took this fair value gap here, traded up to the 15-minute fair value gap, won that trade, break even on the day. Really, really bad. I'll go over that. I don't even need to go over the entries because that's not a valid trade at all. There's no situation ever that I should be taking that trade, so I'll go over that. But at the time, we had this 15-minute bearish, so I was like, okay, this either holds or doesn't. We end up breaking above, so now I'm expecting longs to happen. So we break above, and I wanted to see now this high or this high get taken. So I was still looking for those highs because I still wanted to go lower. We end up inversing, and now we go up here, and look at this. This was very subtle, and if you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't have noticed it. We sweep these equal highs, which is a very hidden...
Okay, I found this on the web for
No.
a berry. Check it out.
I don't know why that man started talking to me. Siri. But we have a very hidden 5-minute bearish fair value gap. 5-minute bear right there. We had a very hidden, you don't really think about it, and it feels like a hindsight, right? Because real time you're not looking at this, but it's also this order block right here. This is an order block. I don't really understand order blocks enough, but it's kind of an order block as well. So price gets in here, sweeps these relative equal highs in a fair value gap. We displace lower. At the time, I still wasn't paying attention. We make a 15-minute fair value gap. Here, I was looking for price to come in to this 15-minute bullish. A lot of stuff going on. We make relative equal highs here. So now I'm like even more bullish because I'm like, okay, we can get this, 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 and this. It'll be good, but I was waiting for this low to get taken, but then reverse higher. We come down, we take the low, we stall, and we fail to inverse anything. No entry, and spoiler, this thing doesn't hold. And then we continue selling. We have, let me see, at the time. We have a small SMT from here to here for a second, but it doesn't hold for long. And then we sell off, and we continue selling off. And that's pretty much where we're at live. So if I exit out replay mode, we just took yesterday's low over here. And I'm probably stepping out for the day because it's just frustrating. Like, I was bearish on the day. And I just never got anything super clean. This was obviously the best entry. If you were just shorted and walked away, you'd be up 191 points, but that's not realistic. Looking back at this, that's why price reversed there. We had this. And that's the reality of trading, is sometimes you don't see exactly what you want to see. You can have a good bias. You can know where you want price to go, and it just doesn't play out how you'd hope it does, and it just allows you to not get a quality entry. And that's where I'm having to get better, is just understanding, okay, is my edge presented? If not, do I take a trade? Don't force anything. Don't get greedy, whatever. And that's one of the things I was happy with today, is I'm able to just step away. My bias played out perfectly. We reject from here. We inverse this big move up. We make a fair value gap. We tap. We dump. We inverse here, so it kind of trips you up because you expect a little bit of buy side to get swept and then go lower. We take a really internal level, and then we continue dumping, and there's just nothing you can do about it. We'll probably continue down and take out all these equal lows, and then especially I'll have no trade. So what I did wrong, forcing trades, I was frustrated that my bias was playing out and I didn't get any trades, so I couldn't make money. Same old mistakes. I got to really focus every single day about the bad habits. But positives, we had a good bias. We were pretty much patient other than the bad trade. And we waited to see what we wanted to see. And if you don't see what you want to see when you're trading, it's okay. Don't take a trade. There'll be, if it's not super clear, if you know what you're doing and it's not super clear, I promise the next day, the next week, whatever, you'll find a setup. And when it's obvious, it is very, very obvious. When it's not obvious, you're probably forcing it. That's a very good rule of thumb. But really, that's just the main takeaway from today is that you can have most of the things you want to see. Just trying to clear out these charts up a little bit. You can have what you want to see and it just not play out the way you hoped it does. And you're just not going to get an opportunity to trade. We ended the week up $423 on the funded eval, which is all right. Hopefully next week we can have a bigger week. If we do have a bigger week next week, I'll be at my best ever. I'll be over $1,000, which will be my best ever, which will be really cool. But yeah, that's the hard part about trading is just, I sat here since 9. It's almost 1. That's 4 hours, 4-ish hours. Didn't have, and I didn't make money, and that's how it goes. But it could have been worse. Just getting more and more experience every single day. So I think I'm trying to remember, I think there's one more thing I was trying to talk about. There's something very specific I was trying to talk about in this review, but I just never got to it. That was going to be the title of the video, but what was it? I guess there's just really maybe wait for it to be dumb clear, and wait for your setup to come to you. If your setup's not there, don't worry about it. If you can't find a trade, just wait for when it's super clear, because I promise on days that it's clear, you will make money, you will get paid. So just wait for your setup to be so clear that you have to take it. But that's all I got. I'll see you guys next week. And we got 2 more trading days next week before I move, so that'll be, I don't know how much my trading, I'll be able to trade every day, so it's kind of frustrating. But it is what it is. So I'll see you guys next week for Monday and Tuesday. And then I move, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then I move. But it's frustrating not to take a trade because you just feel like a trade. If you take a trade, it makes you feel like you're getting better or you're making money or whatever. But it's just the habits and the process. Today can't happen again with the bad habits. But stepping away, knowing when to step away, knowing when to wait for your setup and what you want to see. You should know exactly what you want to see happen in the market before you take a trade. And if it doesn't happen, wait for your setup. So I'll see you guys next week.